Okay, I've got almost 500 miles on the 2023 BMW F750GS. About 100 miles from the first service. So I thought I'd take it for a ride and give my initial observations. It's a nice day for it, so let's go. This is my first motorcycle with all the electronics, so it took a little while to get everything figured out, but I've got the Sena headset in my helmet connected to the Tft display. And my phone in the cradle. The cradle was an additional $250. I've got it connected as well, so I can use my phone for turn-by-turn directions. And BMW has an app that allows you to, it has a mapping application included, so it works pretty well. This mount right here is also designed for the BMW branded Garmin GPS, and those look pretty nice, but they're about $900. So I don't know. And then I've seen some comments that people are having problems with their $900 GPS, so I'll just stick with the phone for right now. You can download maps to the BMW app so that you can use them offline. So if you should happen to ride out of cell service range, you still have your maps and directions, because these phones have a little GPS chip in them, so they'll serve as a GPS without cell service, but you have to have the map downloaded on your phone. So when I was setting up the connections, I wasn't sure if I also needed to connect my phone to the Sena headset, and I did that, and it boogered everything all up. So I stopped by the BMW dealer, and they advised me that no, you just need to connect your Sena headset from your helmet to the TFT and your phone to the TFT, and then the TFT serves as the brain. Since then, since I got everything connected properly, and you know, every time I start the bike up with the keyless ignition, the headset and the phone connect automatically every time so far. So that's really nice. I'm kind of digging the electronics. This bike has dynamic suspension, and right now I have the setting in, I don't know if you can see it, in road mode, and that gives you the plushest, kind of cushiest, softest ride. And of course that's pretty nice. And then switch it to rain. I believe in rain, the rain mode, the suspension stays in the road settings. But if you go into dynamic mode, which gives you the, kind of makes the bike a little bit sportier, a little more responsive on the throttle, and it also stiffens up the suspension a little bit. For example, if you wanted to take your bike out to a track day, you'd probably want the stiffer suspension in dynamic mode. And last but not least is enduro mode for off-road. And it also stiffens the suspension a little bit. So what I've heard people say, now I haven't tried it yet, but I will. I'm just getting more comfortable with the bike right now. But as I get more comfortable with it, the handling and the little bit differences between my other motorcycle, I'll probably start riding consistently in dynamic mode with the road suspension settings, so I get the plushest ride, which by the way is very plush, and the responsive throttle. And let this truck get by. Grand Central Station. So I think that would give you the best of both worlds. Dynamic mode with road suspension. This motorcycle really is like riding on air. When I went to look at it at the dealership, they I was talking to them about this one, and the next thing I know, they're wheeling it out for me. I hadn't asked for a test ride. They just started wheeling it out. And they said, "Can we see your driver's license?" I said, "Well, sure." So I went for a test ride, and needless to say, it was like a dream. And I told those guys at BMW that they were evil for having me take it for a test ride, and Josh, the salesman, said, "Yeah, I don't have to do much work. The bikes sell themselves." That's definitely true. So I had them, the bike comes a little bit naked. This one had the premium package. So it had pretty much all of the factory options, plus, in addition to the performance pack, or the premium package, I keep wanting to call it performance, but I think it's premium package. On this particular bike, they had the comfort seat, which is really nice, and the endurance chain, which is also nice. It's a much more heavy-duty chain than the stock chain, standard chain. And then I had them add the hand guards. There's a skid plate they added underneath, engine guards, and luggage. I got the BMW top case and side cases for touring, and I loaded them up as if I was going on a moto camping trip, and probably had 70 or 80 pounds total cargo, and not counting me. And I didn't even know the weight was back there. Yeah, you notice it a little bit when you come to a stop, but other than that, it carried the weight very nicely. And one thing about this motorcycle that I've noticed is it does not want to fall over. It's very balanced, and it's remained balanced with the luggage on. I was out practicing U-turns on it, and I started my turn, and I looked where I was headed, or where I wanted to go, and turned the wheels and got them cranked all the way. And normally when you're doing a slow speed maneuver like that, you gotta keep the throttle on and maybe lightly on the rear brakes. But I just kept turning and turning, and the bike just stayed straight up and straight up. And so I just coasted through the U-turn, didn't need to give it any correction at all. It was amazing. And it handles like a sport bike. I mean, in all seriousness. I don't notice too much or any top heaviness really, and the comfort seat is 33 inches high. I think the normal seat is 32, and then they have a seat that a lower seat that's 31 inches. So you can go down to 31 inches. This comfort seat's 33, but I can flat foot it. It stops. Normally when I come to a stop, I just put one foot down, but other times if I want to be lazy, I'll put two, and I can get both feet flat on the ground at a stop with the 33-inch seat. Which still isn't extremely high for an adventure bike. A lot of them come standard with 34, 35-inch seat height. And the bike came stock with Michelin Anarchy 3 tires. See, that little bump back there kind of jars me on my Kawasaki W800, but I can ride over it really smooth on this one. And I don't feel vibrations to speak of, even in the lower high revving gears. You barely feel any vibration. So I can see riding this bike for 3, 4, 5 hours and staying pretty darn comfortable on it. But those Michelin Anarchy 3 tires are probably 90-10, maybe 80-20 biased toward road. and I think that's fine for now. I've taken it off in the gravel and dirt a little bit, and I haven't had any problem. But when these wear out, I may end up getting some Michelin Anarchy Wilds, I think they're called. And they're like 50-50, half road, half dirt. But I'm kind of digging the handling of these tires. No problem. Smooth as butter. Now this 750, all the 750s actually, come with the 853cc engine that BMW puts in their 850s. Get through these curves here, have a little fun. But I think the 850s, they have the engine tuned to about 90 horsepower, and on the 750s they tune it to about 77 horsepower. Which is plenty of horsepower for me. I really don't see needing more. The old abandoned boat. Oh, somebody set it on fire since the last time I saw it. Jesus. Yeah, this engine has plenty of torque. And the top end is as fast as I'll ever need to go. I knew when I got a new motorcycle that it had to have cruise control, and this one does. Right there. And it works like a charm. That's nice, out on a long, freeway ride. You just set it to 70 miles an hour and give your right hand and wrist a rest. Tft Display Is Nice. You can go down and do different sections. It's got my vehicle, it gives you all your vehicle stats, including tire pressure monitoring. I'm a big fan of that. And it'll give you a warning if your tire pressure gets too low. This one has tubeless tires. But it doesn't have the spoked wheels. That's a little bit of a downside. So it might not be quite as robust on some hardcore off-road activity. Those spoked rims are stronger on the dirt and the bumps. But I'll look at the bright side. These will be easier to keep clean. I have spoked wheels on my Kawasaki W800. Just got whacked with a horsefly. Yeah, those spoked wheels on my W800 are a pain in the ass to keep clean. So I'm not sure I'll miss them that much on this. So the 750GSs are geared more toward road. The 850s more toward off-road. Great big tree limb in the street. I mentioned in an earlier video this little mini wind deflector they put on these stock. I was a little bit leery about, but I'm actually kind of liking it. It really directs the wind away from my helmet and more toward my chest, but not bad. You know, I don't feel like I'm in the middle of some huge turbulence or anything, but I don't get any wind buffeting on my helmet at all. So other than when it rains, I think I kind of like the smaller windscreen. See. But right now I don't have any desire to upgrade it. And a lot of people, that's the first thing they do is upgrade the wind deflector. This suspension has traction control. You can adjust here. You can also adjust the different modes from right here if you want to change on the fly. You can adjust your riding modes on the fly as well. It's got a quick shifter that I've used a little bit. I don't know how much I'll use it in the future, but I didn't want to use it a whole lot during the break-in period, but after the break-in period I'll probably play with it a little bit more. But yeah, this bike just flicks through the curves. Flick down and there's my vehicle, and that gives you all your stats. Temperature, it's also got ambient air temperature, 70 degrees right now. That bike's at 185 psi's. Gives you your miles to empty, battery charge. Some nice information. got your navigation here. I don't have a map active right now, but it's giving us our direction and the street, speed limit. And media. Turn on some music here. I won't do that on a moto vlog, but and then answer the telephone. The BMW cases that they sell you for a, you know, small fortune are nice. One complaint is their side loading, which can be tricky if you've got stuff packed in there and, you know, you open them up and everything falls out. But if you're strategic in your packing, or get these little cases that fit inside the cases, you know, there are ways around it. I don't mind the side opening cases because sometimes I may have a big dry bag on top, you know, laid over the luggage rack on top of the, and it would span across the side cases, the top of the side cases. So if I had that, a big bag strapped on there, I can still open my cases from the side, you know, so I can keep things handy. This is a bumpy stretch of road where I used to get bumped around pretty good on my W800, but not so much on this. Here's a BMW. Convertible. So I've got the first service coming up, about 100 miles or so. We'll see how much that costs. That's the only problem with these BMWs. But I don't think it's that much more than having a, you know, a Japanese or a Harley Davidson service. It's probably not any more than having a Harley service. And I tell you what, it's pretty luxurious motorcycle riding. Really nice. So I don't regret buying it at all. So hopefully that's a pretty good overview of the bike so far. I appreciate everyone watching, and I'd really appreciate you if you'd subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can get future videos. I'm close to 600 subscribers, and you know, that's getting close enough to 1,000 that I really feel like I need to almost beg for subscribers at this point. So please subscribe if you would. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.